Have you ever wondered about the difference between your focus internally versus externally, as well as your body, your emotions, feelings, versus input from your environment? Well, let's unpack that today with some of Maurice Nicoll's work and Gurdjieff's. I'm Mark Roach. Roach, as I often call myself, sharing my journey from complex PTSD through my life, using various modalities to get free. And welcome to my YouTube channel. Transcendent is here to help you escape the mechanicalness of your life and to find your uniqueness and ultimately to transcend that and enjoy your life. So what I've done today is to take some old work. If you've been following the channel, I've been taking some of Maurice Nicoll's psychological commentaries from work that he did with Carl Jung, Ouspensky, and Gurdjieff. And he held these group meetings in Europe in the 30s and 40s, and I think into the 50s. And he made notes or had these meetings transcribed. So a lot of that stuff's out of date and not really very decipherable to many people here on the earth today. So what I've done is I'm going to try to bring a few pieces of the original forward, and then I've rewritten some of it to try to appeal to modern day circumstances and make it relatable. So this is from the 4th volume of his work. I think it's about the 10th letter that he has in there, or group meeting, and it's about level of being. And this is where I open talking about, about your feelings, your body versus, internal versus external. And I get questions from people that I'm working with or that are seekers that are learning to discern and detach from what's happening in their lives. So this really addresses that. So let me first of all just point out a few tidbits from the original text that he wrote, and then I'll go back and share the updated and revised version. Evil means mechanicalness. To understand about good means you must study this work idea of transforming events by working on yourself. You can either work on yourself or simply be a mechanical puppet. If you are just a mechanical puppet, then you're asleep, driven here and there by every event. You are then driven by life, which is a series of typical events occurring to millions of others. So that's really about all that I had underlined from the original work. And what I wanted to get into today to share with you was something more like this. Have you ever felt like you're just going through the motions, reacting to life without really being in control? What if I told you that most people in their lives are like this, on autopilot, without realizing there's another way? Today we're going to explore how you can wake up from this mechanical way of living and start moving toward a more conscious, intentional life. Welcome back to, today I want to talk about something that's really important for those of us who are on a journey of self-healing and growth. It's about understanding that who you are is not just your body, your thoughts, or even your emotions. There's a deeper part of you that goes beyond all that. Let's break it down. You might be dealing with a lot of this right now, whether it's physical challenges, emotional struggles, or mental exhaustion. But none of that defines your true self. Your core being is something much more profound. It's possible to grow and evolve internally, even if the external circumstances of your life aren't perfect. Consider scale and growth. Think of life as a kind of ladder or scale, depending on how much inner work you do, like reflecting on your actions, managing your emotions, and being mindful. You either move up or down this ladder. The more conscious effort you put into understanding yourself and your reactions, the more freedom you gain. On the flip side, if you go through life on autopilot, reacting without thinking and letting negative emotions control you, you end up feeling more restricted and stuck. So there's something that's called, and I hesitate to use this word because I don't like laws or rules, but there are some structures that are persistent in our experience here. So this idea of moving up or down is kind of like being under different laws. When you're not working on yourself, it's like you're living under a ton of rules that keep you feeling trapped, rules that make you feel heavy and repetitive. But as you start to wake up to who you really are and become more aware of how you react to things, it's like shedding layers of those rules. You start to feel lighter, freer. So here's another way to think about it. When you're stuck in a negative pattern, it feels like you're under 96 different rules or pressures. As you work on yourself by observing your thoughts and emotions and not letting them control you, you start shedding those pressures. The more aware you are, the fewer rules that you're really stuck in obeying. And maybe now you're only dealing with 48 rules instead of 96. So you're relatively more free. And you keep going and eventually you'll feel like you're under even fewer restrictions. So how do you break free from this autopilot? A lot of us feel like we're on autopilot, just reacting to whatever happens without really thinking about it. But there is another way. You can choose to be more present in the moment. You can observe your thoughts instead of letting them run wild. And you can notice when you're getting pulled into negativity and choose not to go there. You know, this isn't easy. It takes real effort. But the good news is that once you start doing this work, something amazing happens. You begin to change from the inside out. You stop feeling so controlled by outside events or other people's opinions. You start living intentionally. So self-observation is the key, and the first step of all this self-observation is you have to see yourself clearly before you can continue to really make changes in anything in your life. This means paying attention to how you can react in different situations. Not only how you can react, but how you do react. Seeing those options is really the beginning of separating from the patterns that have been working subconsciously in you. So how often do you get defensive? And what are you defending? How often do you criticize others instead of looking at yourself? How often do you let pride get in the way? So once you start noticing these patterns, that's when the real change becomes possible. But it all starts with being honest with yourself, especially when it's uncomfortable. So what does it feel like to let go of these false identities that are running in your subconscious, that are really dictating your life? A lot of us get stuck because we hold on to these false ideas about ourselves, about who we are, about our job title, about our social status, or even our past, or our past experiences. We get identified with how we feel and see all of those things and fixated in those. But none of that is the real you. The real growth happens when we let go of those false identities and open up to the new possibilities that are really out there for us. And stop wearing the old clothes that we were wearing. It's like taking off layers of armor that we've been wearing for years. And it can feel vulnerable at first. but it's incredibly freeing. So I've got a few final thoughts here to share. At the end of the day, no one else can do this work for you. It's like Gurdjieff once said, I have good leather to sell, but you must make your own shoes. In other words, the tools are out there, the knowledge, the practices, but you have to put the effort into them. So if you're ready to stop living on autopilot and start moving up that ladder towards a freer, more authentic version of yourself, then it's time to get serious about self-observation and this inner work. It won't always be easy, but trust me, the results are worth it. Thanks for watching, and if it resonates with you, be sure to subscribe for more content like this, and remember, real change starts from within. I'm Mark Roach, wishing you all the best.